Michaela, what is your topic?
Why we are taking too many standard tests.
And proceed.
I think you'd all agree with me when I say we are taking too many standard tests and no one likes to take them. Am I right? Students take on average 113 standard tests from the time they start kindergarten to the time they finish high school. That is 10 to 20 tests annually. President Obama said in October 2014 that he welcomes a pledge from state and big city school leaders to work together to cut back on unnecessary testing and preparation. We are spending way too much time on preparing for these tests. These tests aren't measuring the education quality students need to be successful in life, and there are tons of other options that we can do. We are spending way too much time on preparing for these tests. The test makers that make these tests get a small percentage of students together. These small percentage of students take and answer several questions based on math, language, reading arts, science, all the basic stuff that we test on today. Based on the results that they find, they make a test that puts together what we take. So if they find that students need more help in math, they'll put more math questions, and the teachers need to test more and help students with more math. Or they find that students are struggling in a subject like commas or exclamation points, or where they need to put their punctuation in, they'll tell the school districts and the state and even the government that they need to have students have more skills in those areas. The National Research Council said in 2010 that screening readiness tests are frequently inaccurate and can lead to misdiagnosis of students' learning and needs. These tests are not the answers. And a lot of times, students are testing on overlapping stuff, like they're tested on the same stuff they just tested on a month ago. These tests are just a small picture of information students need to be successful in life. We start teaching students from age before they start preschool, like 5th grade or 5 years old, to the time they start kindergarten, standardized testing skills. When in all reality, they don't start standardized testing until in 3rd grade. Some feel that the younger that we start teaching these kids, the higher their testing scores will be. But in all reality, it's just putting more stress on the parents, students, and the teachers. When students are stressed out, they feel that they're going to fail these tests. If they fail these tests, they feel that they're not going to graduate. If they don't graduate, they can't get a good job and provide for their family. If they can't provide for their family, there's no reason for them to be taking these tests. Schools oftentimes narrow down the curriculum to match the test and the education and the curriculum on the test. Teachers then have to narrow down the curriculum even more to test to the test. When they do this, teachers are skipping important lessons and learning skills that students need to be successful in life. When the students aren't successful in life, all their life falls apart, and they feel they can't be successful and they can't get a good job to provide for their families. The U.S. is the only economically advanced nation to rely heavily on multiple choice tests, FAIR test said in 2007. A lot of times, like in Minnesota, we get people from Texas or Mexico that come up here to work for the beet plant in the winter. A lot of times students come from low-income families when they come up here to do that because their parents don't have the skills that they need, like learning or writing. They can't get the right amount of education. And these tests a lot of these students feel that these tests are going to higher income families, like middle class to upper class. Middle class students, they have the right education that they can do. They can provide for books, their families can buy them iPads. A lot of iPads are used today now. They have the internet access, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a big thing now. Low-income families don't have that. And when they don't have that, the students can't get the right education amount that they need or to study or practice for these tests. Education Week said 7 in 10 teachers and 55% of administrators said states' accountability tests take time away from learning. A lot of these tests don't even come up with the information that we need. We're spending way too much time and not enough time teaching students the skills they need in life. The National Research Council concluded in 2010 that the emphasis on testing yielded little learning progress with significant harm. Harms included students dropping out of school, teachers quitting their jobs, teachers getting fired from their jobs, and teachers and school districts teaching only to the test. They are not helpful after 1 week. Teachers and students find that the more helpful students are in classwork or group projects, that's where the teachers and students find they can get their work done. More classwork like group projects, daily or even weekly or even monthly tests can be more helpful in students and teachers needing this information. Information based on group projects, teachers, weekly skills can help students learn better and get more education that they need. Like if a student is failing or they're scoring low on a test, that teacher can spend more one-on-one attention with them. I feel that we need to take a step back and realize that not all students are failing or not all students are having good education. These standard testing are measuring education quality. We're spending too much time on them, and there's lots of other things that we can do. President Obama needs to take a look at what students need to learn and how they can be successful in life.
Thank you.